The one thing, there is one very specific problem. Hello, good people of the internet. First of all, yes, I know my beard is gone. Don't worry, it'll grow back. I know I look 12 years old. It's okay. Ooh, cat noises. I wanted to kind of respond to myself, responding to the whole YouTube partnership program changes thing, because I've given it some more thought. And the thing is that, initially you feel kind of outraged and you feel like, how could they do this to us, etc., etc. Everybody's upset. I understand that. But then I kind of thought about it a little more, and it's actually not as bad as all that. And I feel like I kind of need to, I don't know, just set the record straight, maybe. So one thing I still don't get is the kind of discrepancy between needing 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours viewed in the last 12 months. Those are very radically different figures, and I don't know if that's to do with the copycat channels that kind of steal people's content and then upload it and kind of pretend to be that channel so that they can make their revenue. I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe that is to crack down on that. The thing to remember is that the people affected, people like me, were never really making like real money off YouTube anyway. It was definitely not the kind of thing that you could make a career out of unless you were kind of very, very close to or well above that mark. So I don't think it's as bad as all that. I mean, I was making peanuts, but I was close, very close actually, to that first $100 or 1,000 Rand YouTube check. And I was like, that's awesome. I've been doing this so long, and it would be nice to get, my AdSense money for the first time ever. And I probably would have made a video about it. That might still happen. I'm not sure how the system is going to deal with the revenue that smaller creators have made already. They might just pay it out and then be done with you. I don't know. But YouTube is a business, and I kind of understand them taking steps to deal with Logan Paul on one end and bad actors, as they would say. But those bad actors are on both sides. So you've got, your Logan Pauls and your prank channels, and you've got your copycat channels and your scammers and the system gaming people. And this is a good way to discourage them. I don't think they communicated very well what they were trying to do. YouTube's terms are always very unclear when they communicate with people, and that's been an issue for a long time. I mean, I mentioned this in the last video on this topic. Their communication with the community is not great. So I can understand people kind of jumping to, YouTube's killing small creators. And on some level, I get it, because they're doing that thing that works really well on the rich, which is hitting you in your wallet. The problem is we're small, and it's kind of like hitting the little guy. But I actually don't think it's that bad. I mean, these new guidelines, they're not going to affect us that directly. And if you really wanted to make money off of YouTube, you wouldn't be trying to do it with YouTube ad revenue. You'd have a Patreon, you'd have sponsors. And again, that's the kind of thing that happens when you tend to have more than 1,000 subscribers. But if you then don't hit that ridiculous 4,000 hours in the last 12 months view time, then you could go elsewhere. There's plenty of ways to leverage your platform, and Philip DeFranco talked about it, and how YouTube ad revenue is notoriously unreliable, especially after the 3 adpocalypses we've been through. So the fact that people like myself, who used to meet the standard for monetization, which was 10,000 hours total watch time, are getting kicked out of monetization, that feels like an overcorrection. That feels like them kind of going overboard in terms of dealing with the problem of bad actors. I love it. But I also see from a business perspective why they would do that. So it's really not the worst thing in the world. It's just the way they implemented it. And I don't like that argument of it's not what you said, it's how you said it. But I think in this case, it's pretty valid, because it is a much larger context than 2 people misunderstanding each other. It's one massive platform with a lot of power kind of ignoring the issues and protests of a large group of people, because the small YouTube community is a very large base. and they're catering as a business to the larger creators out there because they make them more money. And the only reason they don't just shut off monetization for someone with under 1 million subscribers is because it's a smart PR stunt. I mean, the money they make off of people with 1,000 subscribers, with 10,000 subscribers, it's peanuts compared to, you know, the money they used to make off PewDiePie, the money they still kind of make off Logan Paul, that kind of stuff. I get it, is all I'm saying. There's also somebody who, in a very dickish response to this whole thing, someone who is well above the margin for monetization, said, you know, if this is the kind of thing that turns you off making YouTube content, then your will to do so, or your drive to make good stuff, was never that strong. Which, yes, you're missing the point a little, but yes, it is kind of true that if this kind of speed bump is going to slow you down or stop you from posting on the platform, then maybe your drive to do so wasn't enough. At the same time, many of us weren't making money off YouTube to begin with, so the whole moving of the goalposts thing is a symbolic gesture that, you know, we're just that much further from it. This is just one of the few times that a big YouTube change has affected such small creators so directly. We're used to changes affecting the larger people, like the adpocalypse that destroyed so many people's revenue streams, the YouTube heroes thing, which is only an issue if you've got enough viewers to be like spam reporting you. All that stuff was for larger creators on the platform. And this is really, I think, the first time that small YouTubers are being hit like this. So I understand the outrage, but I think it might be a bit overblown. I think we've all, me included, kind of jumped on this train of how could YouTube do this to us? And the one thing, there is one very specific problem with what's happened and these changes, and that is to do with the algorithm. The fact that non-monetized content is not displayed as prominently on searches, on the general pages. They're not ranked as highly. Basically, YouTube makes money off your videos by putting ads on it, by selling that ad space. Now, if your videos don't qualify for selling ad space, then YouTube has absolutely no incentive to show it anywhere. The algorithm is geared towards making YouTube the most money possible. So by removing our ability to monetize our videos, however, for whatever, like 2 cents or something silly, we are still now less prominent. We are now made less prominent. We are now made less searchable. It is more difficult to find our channels and our content if you're a new viewer. So in that regard, and that regard alone, I think this is a huge, huge mistake by YouTube. That is the one real reason why this is bad. And that one reason is kind of enough to upset me, because that makes the climb that much harder. Because if you can't be found, you can't get more subscribers, you can't get more views and grow a community or grow a viewer base if no one can find you. And the reason no one can find us is because we can't display ads. It's a very weird cycle, but that's what happens when a kind of creative platform meets the concept of a business that needs to make money. So yeah, that's food for thought. Sorry, this was kind of a rambly video because I was kind of putting the points together in my head all day yesterday, and I thought, you know, it's actually not that bad, but then there's this one thing and it's a big thing. So I don't know. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Smaller creators out there, Omegalomaniac, Liam Solo, all you guys, tell me how exactly this changes how you approach making your videos. Because to me personally, it doesn't change anything. It's just, okay, you've raised the difficulty of the game slightly. That's kind of unfair because I didn't click that button, but you know what? There isn't really another place where I can do this. And I wasn't really making money anyway, so I'll just keep doing what I'm doing, I guess. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe if somebody's been talking about this issue and they don't really understand why this is a big deal. Maybe show them this. Yay, plug, plug, plug. Anyway, thank you. I'll see you next time. Bye.